Sweet. I'm gonna start sharing real quick. Just introduce us and all that good stuff. Just start talking. Yep, we live.
So, for all of our fans that we do have, I know we're a little bit late, but I know we had a debate on, so we're trying to give y'all a little bit of time to sit there and watch the debate. Um, but this is going to be our NFL podcast for this week. We'll hit you with a recap of college and a little bit of NFL on Sunday night. But for right now, this is what we got going. So, for starters, NFL tonight, you do got the Giants playing. You got also Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not really betting a bunch on that game, so I'm not really trying to watch it too much. Last time I saw it was tied into the second quarter going into halftime. But that division is very, very horrible at the moment. I will say one thing for sure, though. ESPN is just now briefing the news about that conference being a team that's possibly going to go 4-12 and make it into the playoffs. There's
Yeah,
Dallas. Huh?
that is wild.
Yeah, it is wild. But just so y'all know, about 2 weeks ago, we briefed that already that was a possibility considering how the teams were already doing and that nobody was technically winning anything and the whole division was sitting at 1-3 almost and nobody was winning. They were losing. The only competition that anything had in there was just in between the division. They weren't beating anybody outside the division necessarily. Washington knocked off Philly the first week, and then Washington won the losing streak. Dallas beat the Falcons, and then Dallas won the losing streak. Giants are just horrible this year. So, I mean, we briefed this stuff before ESPN even caught on to it. So, I mean, if that says something, give us some views. Come watch it. Look back about 2 or 3 NFL little days that we did have, and you'll see that we was already on top of this before ESPN was even on it. Um, but for starters, let's go ahead. I mean, we ain't gonna keep y'all too long tonight, so we'll hit off the game of the week. Actually, we'll skip the game of the week. First game we're gonna bring up is Seattle at Arizona. Both of those teams, Seattle is the only 5-0 team left in the NFC East. Arizona, on the other hand, they're still doing their thing. They had a little bumpy road for 2 games, and then they came back all strong last week and won. So for this game, I'm betting Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf to step up. Chris Carson has been a factor, but not as big a factor as he was last year. So for me, I'm going to have to go Seattle on this one. Um, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, they're getting it done. Can't really bank too much on the running back Kendrick Drake or Kenyon Drake. He stepped up last game, but first 4 games prior to that one, the dude was almost non-effective. Like he wasn't even there. You had Chase Edmonds running the ball more than he did and providing more fantasy points. So
Yep. I'm with you on that one. I'm going full on Seattle. Arizona's still a young team. They got a lot of growing to do, and I'm not a big fan of Drake. I don't think he's a starting running back anyway. I don't think he's your premier back. So I like Kyler Murray. He's a good kid, good athlete, good quarterback. Hopkins is going to be Hopkins. He's going to do his thing, but yeah, uh, got to go Seahawks on this one, babe.
yeah, I'm honestly still surprised. I think everybody in Texas is still throwing their hats down and pretty much cussing out Bill O'Brien for that trade with DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona. So I mean, that was probably one of the bigger mistakes Texas has ever made. I mean, next case scenario would be them possibly getting rid of J.J. Watt. Clowney's gone. Hopkins is gone. I mean, best case,
You
yeah,
can only hope. Man, it just slipped my mind. The quarterback, what's Watson? I hope that dude gets on a good team, man. I hope he gets away from Texas, the Texans. I like Watson. He's got to get away from the Texans.
yeah, he does. He does. I mean, you can only carry the team so far. They left him with pretty much high profile receiver and Will Fuller, but an injury prone receiver in the first place. So I mean, it does no good for him to really be out there. His tight ends are pretty much his most consistent pass catchers, and he doesn't really throw the ball to them. Will Fuller is a hit or miss or boom or bust player, regardless of how you look at it. So I mean, yeah, it's not necessarily a good situation for Watson. But enough about Arizona. Let's go to the next one, which should be a good matchup. 49ers and the Pats. You want to hit
Yeah,
this one?
yeah, I'll hit it. 49ers, they pissed me off They decided to show up and play against Los Angeles last week. My Rams, man, I can't believe they beat them. Not happy about that at all. Uh, I gotta say, bro, it's I'm gonna go Niners. I'm gonna go Niners.
I am. I'm going to go with you on that one. The Niners. The receiver set is definitely better than what the passer throwing up. Cam Newton, he's definitely there, but I don't see him literally carrying that team. I mean, he's not Tom Brady. He can't necessarily do without the receivers. I mean, he was stuck in Carolina for the longest time without hardly any receivers. They got him some speedy guys, mostly Ohio State players. They were just not even skill position players. They were just complete freaks of nature, athletes with speed, but not necessarily somebody who's going to go get you the ball every single time, you know?
That's it.
So, I mean, but Garoppolo, he manages enough, even though he is injured, but he still got Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle's a beast.
Yeah, he's got Deebo Samuel, Kendrick Bourne. I mean, his receivers are literally any given time they get the ball in their hand, there's a chance for them to sit there and break that one. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go 49ers with the two.
Yeah, 49ers all the way on this one.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get to y'all's new, pretty much possibly division leader in the Bucks. Bucks going against the Raiders. I expect this game to be good down to the wire. I do not necessarily expect to see a Green Bay performance where they just completely shut them down. So, and honestly, I was surprised that they just completely shut Green Bay down. That was the worst game I've seen Rodgers have in years. So, I've never necessarily been a TB12 fan, but with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and even Ronald Jones, forgive me for saying it, but Ronald Jones, even him performing right now, I'm gonna have to go to the Bucks with this one over the Raiders, considering the Raiders had a whole COVID scare right now, and their whole offensive line is pretty much banned from their whole facility. So,
also, is the game still gonna happen then?
that is a good question. It might still happen. I mean, they got a couple of days to sit there and recoup from it and wait and see if there's any positive test that comes back. I mean, look, Saban got to play. He got to sit there and coach after 2 days of just being on COVID restriction. I mean,
that's true. Well, Griffin, the great words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. The Raiders are hot right now, bro. They're coming off a big win against KC. Josh Jacobs is running the ball like a beast. I gotta go.
That is true.
I gotta go Raiders, man. I think Derek Carr is actually, he actually looks good this year. But he was dropping dimes against KC. So yeah, man, I gotta go Raiders. I don't think I'm not a believer in TB12. I'm not a believer in the Tampa Bay O line. They almost got Jameis killed. Brady ain't gonna last the season. Brady is not gonna last the season. He's gonna end up getting hurt because that O line is trash. Raiders, and I'm gonna say Raiders by 10.
Ooh. Okay, we're gonna put a little spread on this. You're going Raiders by 10. I think the Bucks pull it out by at least a field goal at the end. Tom Brady is a clutch quarterback, regardless of what anybody says or even what I think about him. When it comes fourth quarter and it's down to the wire, Tom Brady normally shows up for one reason or another. So I'm still gonna have to go the Bucks on this.
All right, we'll see. That's gonna be a good game, though. It's gonna be good.
It will be. Yes, that's not the game of the week, everybody. So just stand by for that one. We're going to get to the game of the week, but Bucks and Raiders should probably be like the second best game, more than likely. Next game we got Bears versus Sam's Rams. That's got a good ring to
it. That's right. Look here. Rams took a week off. Golf looked like crap last week. All right. I think they should have beat San Francisco handily. They didn't. But everybody has a bad day, right?
Yeah.
Rams all day long. They're gonna win this one. Golf's gonna show back up. I expect Robert Woods to get in the end zone a couple times. My boy Cup gonna cut him up on them slant routes. And
God, I hope so.
I need Cam Akers to hit the end zone a couple of times. I need to see him bust out this game. I ain't picking against the Rams, baby. Rams all day.
I think Cam Akers is going to take a back seat to what's his name? Is it not Daryl Henderson? Yeah, Henderson. I think he's going to take a back seat to him. So I mean,
He is. He is. Cam's. He had a good run. I think it was a couple of weeks ago when he first got back from injury. He broke like a 46-yard or something like that. Uh, I still think Cam's in that adjustment phase where he's getting adjusted to the speed of the game. I mean, come on, most of these rookies are going to have a hard time, especially if you're a running back. You didn't get a preseason. You didn't get a really true camp. So I think Cam is going to have to sit out a year and just learn. Let this year be his learning year. And then
I can see that. I can see that. What do you expect Ramsey to do? I mean, he's got a hard choice. I mean, is he going to go Wood? Well, not Woods. I take that back. He really ain't got a hard choice. Allen Robinson's pretty much the only receiver that the Rams actually have. So, I mean.
No. Nobody throws at Ramsey. They smart. You don't throw against Ramsey. You just don't. You do, and it's bad news for you. He lights you up. Even if you get what he do to Cooper and the Cowboys, he murdered him. Cooper still bodied over there. He sees number 20 and he has flashbacks.
Yeah, that's true. That's
you're not seeing quarterbacks throw at him right now. You're not, and it's the same way when Deion Sanders played. Quarterbacks just didn't throw that direction.
Yeah, it was a hit or miss on that one. It was either he was going to get knocked down or 50% chance he was either going to pick it. Them catching the ball was, what was it, the next gen stats they like to show? 0.4% chance of him getting the ball off, 1.4% chance of him catching it, and he scores. Yeah,
This is the biggest reason outside of being a Rams fan that I'm going with the Rams. Aaron Donald's going to eat this game. He's going to eat. I don't care if it's Foles. I don't care if it's Trubisky. He's going to eat.
That's true. And just so I'm not leaving you out, our special guest from last night, he has his first comment on the page right now. We got to bring this one back to the Bucks versus Raiders. I think he's going to go with you on this one, Sam, with the Raiders. Tom Brady is trash. So yeah, I know he ain't, but I mean, you can't say that Brady does not perform when it counts.
Oh, he does. He does, but Brady without Belichick is just, I don't see it.
That's true.
Especially behind the O-line. He doesn't have the O-line he used to have.
Yeah, I know some of the fans can get mad at me. It's pretty much like Emmitt Smith without Dallas's line.
That's true.
I mean, can't really say much on that one. All right, so we'll give y'all one. And we talked about the game tonight, New York Giants versus Philadelphia. So, I mean, we're going to go right back to that division with this game. I mean, it was a toss-up whether or not we really, really want to speak on it, but it is Thursday night, and that division is playing. So, I mean, this whole week is just division games between them. And you got Dallas versus Washington. I mean, whoever wins tonight between the Giants and the Eagles is probably going to be a runner-up, if not over in first place between Dallas and Washington. If Washington wins, then it's going to be like pretty much a three-way tie between Dallas, Washington, and the Eagles more than likely. But Dallas versus Washington. What do y'all got on this?
I'm going Cowboys.
I
think Zeke's going to have a good game. They're going to have to lay on him heavy. Because you got Andy Dalton starting now. I think you're going to have to lay on Zeke heavy.
Yeah, I mean, the last game, well, let's start off with this. Zeke is a Buckeye, so I got to go Buckeyes all day. That's just how I'm going to roll. I might not necessarily root for Dallas, but I'm going to root for Dallas. That way I don't get killed by my wife. But Ezekiel Elliott, hands down, I'm going for him. But ESPN bashed the death out of him this past week. Even he sit there and try to take some of the blame for it, but think back to it. The 3 years that he has been in the league, he's got his multi-million-dollar contract. When has the dude had fumble issues? When? He fumbled twice last game. Got it. But when has he had fumble issues, though? This is the first game where he's literally had any multiple fumbles, even in a season. He probably just tied a season high. So I don't see the bashing on Zeke for whatever reason. Like, okay, Do fumble. Got it. Prescott's out. Got it. The offense pretty much stunk. Understand. But the offense stunk even when Dak was there. Dak was throwing for 500 yards and they were still losing.
Yep.
So I'm not going to blame this on Zeke. There's no way. I can't do it. If anything, I'm going to blame it on the $100 million man, Amari Cooper.
Well, I mean, Dallas' defense is straight trash.
It definitely is right now.
If we're being real, they're trash. But you know what I don't understand about the Cowboys? Why are you rolling Andy Dalton? You know you've lost Dak, right? He's done.
Done for the season.
Why aren't you trying to get a Jameis Winston or something?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, we can jump into that.
I would. If I'm Jerry Jones and I want to salvage my season, I'm going to take a Winston, or I'm going to try to find some quarterback out there that's better than Dalton. I mean, you basically, to me, you're throwing away your season with Dalton.
Yeah. Dalton, I would say, is the poor man's Brian Hoyer with more interceptions. I mean, in Major, just so you know, I see you hating on my Buckeye. Zeke for 3 touchdowns and 4 fumbles. I see you. I see you. Just so you know, I shared it to a Buckeyes page too, though. So, I mean, you probably got some of them here listening. They probably mad at you for that one too. But, yeah,
Hey,
I
got you back, Major.
Oh, God, it's a trifecta. I'm just getting double teamed on left and right. I see how this is. I see how this is going to be. But it's okay. I can roll with this. But, yeah, I see what you mean. A trade for somebody other than Andy Dalton, I mean, why not? Why not hit up Miami? Take Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Why not hit up the Eagles? Go with Jalen Hurts. You have a scrambling quarterback right there that's probably been sitting on the bench that can possibly do exactly the same things that Dak was doing, if not a little bit more speed.
Hurts can't throw the deep ball.
Hey, if he's accurate underneath, I don't remember them throwing hardly any deep balls besides the Gallup. All their plays have pretty much been under 20 yards.
That's true.
And yeah, so I mean, Gallup's the only one that's had any pretty much deep balls as far as the whole season goes. So I mean, why not get Hurts? Like you said, why not go down and get Jameis Winston? I mean, if they really feeling froggy and they just want somebody else to a placeholder, I mean, Sam Darnold has shown flashes of being good at points in time. I mean, why not? He's probably cheaper than Dalton.
That's true. But you know, you brought up Fitzpatrick. What is Miami doing? Why are you're having success right now? Why are you throwing in Tua now? That's got me puzzled. I mean, Fitzpatrick is doing a good job.
I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can say about Fitzpatrick is he took Buffalo to a 5-0 season right off the back. He was on fire, hands down. I remember that year. Good question, Major. Good question. What about Cap? But we'll get the Cap. But Fitzpatrick, yeah, 5-0 season with Buffalo. The next thing you know, they're 5-9. Yeah, they put him on the bench. He goes to Tennessee. He sits there and gets a little start. He goes down to the Colts, I think, gets a little start. But every single time, like, he does start off hot. No lies about that one. He starts off hot normally wherever he's at. So, I mean, they might be thinking that it's about time for him to cool off. But I do not see any point right now, if he has gave you no reason whatsoever that he is declining to put into it.
No, there's no reason at all. And I'm going to throw it at Major real quick. I'm going to tell you why not Cap. Because you're going to have to change your entire offense.
True. Cap was more of a run and shoot kind of guy. Somebody go at night.
I want to break up. I don't have any negative thoughts toward Cap. I like Cap. Don't care what he does during national anthems and all that. But the thing with Cap is he's not a good quarterback. He's not. You can't even prove it to me that he is, because if he's not running that college style offense like he did in Nevada, he ain't it. That's why they benched him in San Fran.
Hey, in his defense, Alex Smith was a better quarterback. Yeah, I see you on there, Miss Griffin. You agree? You agree? But yeah, no, Cap. I get it. You could, but why not take Fitzpatrick? Why not take Hurts? Why not take Winston? Cap, yes, you're going to get the publicity. I mean, Jerry Jones doesn't need any more money necessarily. So, I mean, that's one of the only plus sides you're really going to get with Cap right now. The dude is almost 5 to 6 years removed from any NFL team whatsoever. I mean, he might still have it, he might not. But at this point, he might as well be going over to the practice squad and being the rookie, starting off with a whole new team. I mean, trying to learn a whole new offense, get back into the flow. He probably doesn't even know how to necessarily read a defense anymore, especially the way everybody is blitzing nowadays, having everyone line up on the line, but they're really in a 4-3. I mean, I don't see it being a good fit at this point. If Cap was going to start, somebody should have picked him up at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think Cap wants to play. If I'm being dead ass real, I don't think Cap wants to play. I think Cap is making his Nike money. I think he's built his platform, which good for him. But he's making his money, man. He's why play? Why throw all that away and get hurt? You know what I mean? He's making millions, not playing.
Yep. And I think me and Sam both agree on that one. Winston does give you an instant offense if he can keep the interceptions down.
That's true, and I'm going to defend Winston on this. Tampa Bay's O line, like I said earlier, is trash. Winston kept trying to make plays happen when he should have just threw the ball away. He should have thrown it away a lot. But if you watch a lot of those games with Winston, if you go back and review film, there was a lot of drop passes, a lot of drop balls, a lot of tip balls that got picked. I mean, a lot of that was not on Jameis. It was just on the receivers. But that O line, man, I mean, the dude scrambled for his life, probably 90% of passing downs.
True. But I mean, in my negative defense of Winston, I mean, the dude has some of the biggest receivers in the NFL to throw the ball to. And all of them were jump ball players too at that. So I mean, there's not any way he really should have missed a whole bunch of passes or at least threw that many interceptions. I mean, it might be his fundamentals, it might be some of the footwork, but like you said, their offensive line is still horrible. So I mean, you can't really knock him too much for that one.
That's true. Well, what about that game of the week, Griff? What we got?
Ooh, game of the week. Time for it. We got the train, the tractor, we got rookie standout, we got blowing up, we got fourth year pro who was pretty much non existent. We got old school versus old school in the quarterback. I want to say they came in roughly around the same time if Big Ben didn't come in a couple of years before him, but we got the Titans versus the Steelers. The last two, I repeat again, the last two undefeated teams in the AFC. So I'm not even gonna say who I'm going for. Sam, you go ahead and do this. You already know I'm going for. That's the.
Well, Derrick Henry's going to eat. I think Derrick Henry's going to run it. He's going to get about 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think the Titans are going to win. I think it's going to be a close game.
Oh yes,
honesty, it's going to be a close game. It's probably going to come down to the wire, but Titans are going to win it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Titans. Yes, Miss Griffey. Yep, Steelers are losing this Sunday. Hashtag Go Titans. Got it. I will say this: the Titans do have a couple of injuries. They are missing Jonnu Smith right now, but he's supposed to be healthy, which almost it didn't really matter because Adam Fersker came in last game and almost caught. Well, to that back, he did catch more passes than even AJ Brown. The dude was balling, and he wasn't even supposed to be anything besides a blocker. Gostkowski, yes, he might give me a heart attack. I'll say that much. Gostkowski, yeah, he's there, but then on the opposite side of the spectrum, the Steelers defense, T.J. Watt, Bud Dupree. Oh wait, ain't Bud Dupree done for the year now? Didn't he tear his ACL? One of their star linebackers. That's going to make a big difference when you have a 250-pound pack coming down your throat. You can take Henry for your fantasy points. I ain't even talking to you no more. Hey, can we ban him? But I see Big Ben. He's still gonna do him. I say Chase Claypool's probably gonna get a couple of yards, but this is the week I'm hopefully and possibly gonna see Juju Smith-Schuster actually do what he's supposed to be doing this whole year, and possibly actually go off. I mean, you still got James Conner to worry about. I mean, he's not putting up Le'Veon Bell numbers, but he's still efficient.
He's not putting up those first year numbers he had, that's for sure, when he took over for Bell.
Yeah, definitely not. They went to almost a rotational back, except Connor still being the main back as far as it goes. Saw Benny Snell get off when he was injured. So, I mean, it's not necessarily offensive line. It all depends on if they're clicking. But if the offense ain't on the field, then they're not going to win.
That's true. It's very, very true.
So I got a little bit of controversy coming for you. I mean, Titans, Majors possibly going for the Titans. I see that happening, but here goes your controversy. Chiefs, right? Patrick Mahomes, pretty much one of the higher candidates for MVP. Chiefs beat the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, probably another candidate for MVP. Not necessarily so much this year as last year, but Chiefs beat Ravens. Ravens beat, let me get this right. Yeah, the Chiefs beat the Ravens, and then the Chiefs lost to the Raiders. Does that make the Raiders better than the Chiefs and the Ravens?
I wouldn't say not necessarily, but the Raiders are hot right now. They're on fire.
I'm just saying, the only
Gruden's got them rolling right now.
That's true. I'm just saying, Kansas City's only loss this year has came to the Raiders. Ravens' only losses came to the Chiefs.
I don't know, Griff. I don't know. The Raiders aren't better than those two teams. I mean, Chiefs had a bad game that game.
I know, and then they followed it up with barely winning, but who was it? Harrison Butker kicked the game-winning field goal, pretty much. That's the way we're gonna go. Chiefs just have the Ravens number. I can. I don't know. But yeah, I'll take that one. I'll go Willie Beeman status. Any given Sunday, yes, anything can happen. Y'all don't know what any given Sunday is. Y'all ain't never watched Steeman, Willie Beeman. Y'all are missing out. That's like saying that you ain't never seen the program.
Yep. Greatest football movie ever made is The Program, hands down.
That is
any given Sundays. It's up there. It's top 5.
Yeah. All right, I see you. I see Major. Nah, the Raiders aren't better. Oh, I'm sure Murdoch, what you're talking about right now, Daniel Jones possibly being on a trading block from the Giants. I did see that one pop up. That is, I don't see that necessarily being a possibility. I mean, can it happen? Yes, we've seen worse. Odell Beckham wasn't supposed to be traded, and then he got traded to the Browns, and then the Browns were sitting there leaking info saying that he was going to possibly be traded again. I couldn't necessarily blame him right now the way he has been performing, but Daniel Jones was their first-round draft pick. Granted, the dude did come out of Duke, but they based their whole offense around him. They got rid of Eli Manning and benched him. They got Saquon Barkley back there in the backfield. I mean, the dude has shown flashes of being good, but he has nothing. I mean, nothing around him besides Darius Slayton, who wasn't even supposed to be performing. So I don't see Daniel Jones going anywhere.
No, I don't either.
You saying he hit a ghost toe? You pull a Rob Durday, hit a ghost toe. Ain't nobody touch him whatsoever, just falls. True. Oh, yeah. Okay.
What about Dez Bryant? He is going to sign with the Ravens practice squad. Really? Why are the Ravens even doing that? I mean, that don't make sense to me. There's a lot of shit happening right now that don't make sense to me, and that one right there does not make sense to me. I mean, you're bringing a cancer into your locker room. I mean, Dez
That's
wasn't
true.
impressive in Dallas.
We talking about like his last year, or we
Man,
talking about?
that man cried about Tony Romo. I lost all respect, bro.
Don't judge me. No one judge me on this one, but take it with a grain of salt, okay? Terrell Owens, dude was a monster. He could catch, but definitely bad for the locker room. Yelled at Tony, yelled at McNabb. I mean, dude had some issues, hands down. But dude was a great receiver.
Yeah,
Des,
Terrell Owens 10 times receiver Dez Bryant is.
I'm not going to dispute that one. Terrell Owens is definitely one of my favorite receivers, regardless of the attitude. The dude went out there, he wanted to win, he wanted the ball. I mean, there's not a whole bunch of players that really, really want the ball when it's time, like the game's on the line. So I mean, I can't hate on Terrell Owens, but I will say this much about Dez Bryant. Did he slack off the last 2 years? Yeah, he did. But the difference between Dez Bryant and Terrell Owens was a playmaker. The dude was, if you got the ball in his hands, you can almost guarantee it's possibly going to the house. The dude had the receiving record for most receptions in a game. So I mean, the dude was a beast. But now the only benefit that the Ravens are going to get from Dez Bryant is Dez Bryant is a possession receiver. He was not a highlight reel. He is a possession receiver. Right
Yeah,
now,
but
all
are
the
they going to use him? Because they're putting him on the practice squad.
the
So is
dude's
he ever
been.
going to suit up?
I give him week 10. As long as he passes the conditioning test and he gets familiar with the playbook, I give him week 10 for them to
So
actually
you,
start trying to utilize him.
well, are you saying they'll utilize him once somebody gets hurt?
No, I say
Or
they bring him in and as because right now the Ravens, all their receivers are prolific, speedy guys. Like none of them are actually possession receivers that really, really want to get hit. All of them are burners. They have a whole team full of Kansas City receivers, just a little bit slower. So I mean, Dez Bryant is the only different player that they do have. So I mean, he's going to be the only possession receiver on their team for the most part. The only other one they got is their tight end, and his name just left my lips. I'm about to say Hayden Hurst, but I know that's not it.
no? Oh
Mark
man,
Andrews. There we go.
there
Mark
we go.
Andrews. Yeah. Like besides him, they have no other possession receivers, and I mean, you can't really depend on somebody to blow down the field every time you need 5 yards on the reception. I mean, it can happen, but it's not necessarily the best case scenario. And you definitely don't want Lamar Jackson scrambling every single time, even though I'm pretty sure he'll get it.
Look, and I work too much, right? I work a lot, so I've been missing some news lately. Why the hell are y'all picking up Antonio Brown in the damn leagues? What happened?
All right, AB, his suspension is going up. His suspension is going to be up in 2 weeks max, and everybody's probably banking on AB to be the same one he was when he's with the Steelers. He went to the Raiders and got the cryogenic therapy on his foot, missed the season, became a cancer to the locker room. I mean, but if he goes to Seattle, which is the possibility, you have AB on the opposite side of Metcalf, or even in the slot between Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Russell Wilson is already nasty enough with just those two receivers. And Chris Carson in the backfield. Now throw AB in there and AB actually get at least halfway to where he was doing when he was with Pittsburgh. They're going to win a Super Bowl.
Let me find out Major picked up AB. I'm mad as hell.
He didn't. He didn't pick him up.
Who
I
got it?
know Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, I was
Yep.
gonna say Major had inside information he ain't sharing.
Yeah. AB is the Dennis Rodman of the NFL. I mean, he is the bad boy of the NFL right now. I would have gave it to Josh Gordon about 2 years ago, but yeah, it's definitely AB. Before him, though, it definitely had to be Pac-Man Jones and with Garrett Blunt. Those two guys. Oh man. Oh man. So I know we did hit a little bit on the trades already. The deadline for the trades is November 3rd. I mean, ooh, before I even get to this one, yes, one of the personnel I was looking at was Evan Ingram. The dude is stuck on a team with nobody there. The dude is a good tight end, especially when he's healthy. And he's actually been healthy this year, but he isn't necessarily producing. So I mean, possibility of him getting traded and the Giants trying to get some more draft picks to actually boost up their team, hopefully in the offensive line, because their offensive line is horrible. I mean, that's a possibility. Daniel Jones, I still don't see him going anywhere.
New York's just got bad luck, bro. The Jets, the Giants, they all trash.
Yeah. That one is true. I mean, we already hit on Winston. We hit on Fitzmagic, which I'm still mind blown by that one in the first place. I mean,
I just don't understand it. You're winning. You blew out the Niners.
Yep.
Why are you now deciding why didn't go Tua? Did Tua not know the playbook and now he knows it, and so they throwing him in there? I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't either. It makes no sense. I mean, you might as well just say that you're going point shape for the rest of the season and just bank on the draft pick. I ain't saying
it. I want to say it now. Tua is made of glass. He can't stay healthy. I watched him in college at Bama. He could not stay healthy. I mean, I don't know. I think the Dolphins are risking a lot starting Tua right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this moment, there was no reason to really thrust him into the game. I mean, what's going to happen if he starts messing up? They're just going to pull him. So I mean, that's just going to mess with his confidence. Like maybe I wasn't ready, and then you're going to have a shaky quarterback that you bet your whole franchise on for the next 3 or 4 years trying to play quarterback. Just to fill you back in, though, Murdoch, we pretty much decided that Pittsburgh is going to be the undefeated team to go lose. The reason why is because they're probably not stopping Derrick Henry.
Nope.
They're missing Bud Dupree, one of their star defensive players. And I mean, they still got TJ Watt. I mean, but their whole strength has normally been in their pass rush. Tennessee doesn't have to necessarily pass the ball. Ben Roethlisberger is getting old, but the dude is performing, but he is definitely not blowing up the 400 and 500-yard games he was 3 years ago prior to being hurt. And he definitely cannot scramble anymore. So.
No. And Ben, I just don't see it. Titans are on fire like the Raiders. And you don't have to pass the ball if you're Tennessee. You can ground and pound. You can work the clock with Henry. Because Henry's going to get you 3 to 4 yards of carry, no matter what.
And the plus side for Tennessee right now is their running game is better than Pittsburgh's. And the biggest improvement that they do have is they have 2 reliable pass catchers, whether it's A.J. Brown, Jonnu Smith, or even Adam Fersker right now. But they have reliable pass catchers, which is what they have not had for the past 15 years almost. They just haven't. That and the quarterback before that either. But hopefully that one catches you up on that part. I think the last thing we got for y'all, though, possibly would be there was one trade that did happen. Now, Ravens, right? Dez Bryant, right? What about a defensive boost? I'll wait. I'll give y'all a chance to think about who it could be if y'all haven't been paying attention. It's good. It's cool.
I ain't been paying attention. I ain't gonna lie. I work too much.
Hey, who did Jacksonville trade this year?
Oh yeah, Campbell, right?
Oh, they got rid of Campbell. Campbell went to the Ravens also. But who else did they get rid of? He went up there with your Florida State cap.
I can't think of it. I don't know.
Yannick Ngakoue.
There we go. Yeah. The Ravens got him now?
Got traded to the Ravens for 2 draft picks. Cheap draft picks at that. Actually, 1 draft pick and 1 conditional, if I'm thinking right.
I'm convinced fully that Jacksonville just never wants to win another football game ever.
What about Minnesota? They took him for a defensive boost, and then they just traded him over to the Ravens. So now the Ravens having Brockway and Calais Campbell paired back up again, along with Patrick Queen, their star linebacker that they just drafted. And then they still got Marlon Humphreys on one side playing cornerback.
Well, Minnesota's screwed till they get rid of Kirk Cousins. So it don't matter what Minnesota does.
How dare you talk about the moneymaker? I mean, yeah, I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback.
No,
He beat out Robert Griffin. He beat out Casey Keenum. Oh, my bad, Murdoch. Thank you for that update. It wasn't Bud Dupree. It was Devin Bush.
Well, you know what? Bump Devin Bush because Devin Bush went to Michigan and he should have went to Florida State because he's a legacy. So I don't even want to talk about Devin Bush.
It's all right. They can bring as many linebackers as they want to. I mean, there is only one good thing I will say about Pittsburgh, and it's not Ben Roethlisberger. It's not James Conner. It is their defense. Pittsburgh is one of the few teams in the NFL that always, I repeat, always manages to pull an Ohio State linebacker out of the draft, and the dude becomes a monster. Ryan Shaver.
I need to address Miss Thompson real quick. Yes, I am a homer. And I will always be.
I ain't gonna argue. I ain't gonna argue.
Speaking of nose, has Devontae scored yet? I got him starting. He better get the end zone tonight.
He got hurt too. You know, he accident prone. He made out of glass also.
He got hurt.
I don't know. He probably did though.
Every other running back I got has.
Hey, that's that Sam curse.
No.
All right, Murdoch. Yeah, Pittsburgh might be second in the league in rushing. Well, against the rush, they could have shut down whoever it was. You know, whether it was Hunt or not. But aside from the first game against Denver, who has shut down Derrick Henry?
You got me there. I don't know who.
Nobody shut down Derrick Henry. Therefore, I'm still going Titans on this one.
Yeah, Titans gonna win.
Yeah. Honestly, y'all, I mean, besides tonight happening, I mean, game going on, we don't really have too much for y'all as far as it goes, but we covered a couple of the games. I mean, we'll post up the games tonight or at least tomorrow, let y'all sit there and pick who y'all going to win, put the game of the week on there and pick your score, and we'll see what happens. I know we're still counting down the list from last week with the NFL picks and seeing who is going to be one of our special guests. Again, for last night, I'd like to thank my brother Major for hopping on here. I mean, we're going to have some more guests on as we speak.
Big shout out to Major, man. It was an excellent conversation. If you didn't get to watch last night, and if you enjoyed college football, I highly suggest checking that out. Major was a pleasure interviewing, had some great stories.
What in the world is Chris talking about?
Oh, they talking about our soon guest for our college episode, Cricket Updike. He will be appearing in, I can't. We're gonna have Cricket Updike, the biggest Alabama fan in the nation, on our next college episode.
True. We will have him, and then we're going to follow up next week on Thursday with our NFL pod, and we're going to have Stacey Gresham on the show with us. He is another former Wake Forest Deacon alumni, so I mean we're going to pick his brain about that one a little bit too. But we're gonna stick to most NFL. He's gonna go along with the little bandwagon, so we're gonna pop them on there. So we're gonna try to keep y'all up with some special guests here and there. Can't promise you to be every week, but when we get them, we're gonna get them.
Well, I got to hit Major real quick. Last night he said FSU dropped 70 on him one time. He didn't want to talk about that. I looked it up. Ooh, Major. Ooh, that was rough, bud. 7 the big 7-0.
it stuff happens.
That's back when the nose were the nose.
Yeah, stuff happens. It's yeah. I will not say that I was there for that game because I definitely wasn't.
I need to ask Major if he kept playing hard all the way through, or did he fake a hammy after they got about 60 points?
That's a good one.
No,
That's a good one.
Major's tough. I know Major played it all heart. Don't
Oh,
matter what the score was. He went all out.
no doubt he's probably cussing out his teammates. Last thing that I would get y'all with is fourth quarter right now between the Giants and the Eagles. New York Giants are up 14-10 with the Eagles threatening on the 7-yard line pretty much to score, but they still got another 10 minutes to go. So
We're gonna ban Derek Thompson from the chat. He traded me a lemon and Devontae Freeman. He is trash. Has not gotten the end zone all night. You're not allowed to talk.
very, very true. Very, very true. We didn't hit y'all with no fantasy stuff. We'll catch y'all back on that one this week. It's a whole bunch of teams on the bye, so don't worry about that one. I mean, it's literally no running backs to pick up from because the ones that are healthy are already taken. Whatever backups that there were are already taken. I mean, the most you can hope for is possibly one of these free agent receivers like Fulgham or Patrick, but their time is going to be very, very short because most of the players they replace are going to be coming back. And FYI, Giants got the ball on the 3-yard line now, and they're about to start driving on the Eagles possibly. And if you really want to know, Freeman just got you about 0.2 points.
Nice. I need it.
But I'll let you go ahead and wrap it up, Sam, with me. But that pretty much covers it for the NFL, unless you got anything left.
No, I don't have anything left on the NFL side. Just thank y'all to everyone that did tune in. Again, thanks to Major for joining us last night. I'm going to shout out my buddy's podcast. If you like horror films and you're big into the horror genre, Don't Go Out There podcast. It's great. It's great. They do great reviews. They get good interviews. The guy that played Freddy Krueger, the chick that played Nancy, they've interviewed all of them. They've interviewed the guy that played Jason Voorhees. So go check them out. Don't Go Out There pod. But yeah, we'll see you guys Sunday night with our NFL and NCAA recap.
Definitely so. Hey, be sure to leave us some comments. Thank y'all that did comment, but hey, leave us some reviews. Let us know what y'all want to hear. If there's anything specific that y'all want us to input, so that way we know what we're doing. That way we can actually create something that y'all like and something that we like also. Other than that, hey, y'all have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.
Y'all be safe.